Dr. Long, have you met Bruce Wayne?
Your father and I attended university together. He had big plans for you.
Well, I guess he'd be pleased. Wayne Industries is more prosperous than ever.
Pleased? When your father was alive, Wayne was a name that commanded great respect. Now all Wayne stands for is a self-centered, jet-setting playboy. It's lucky your father didn't live to see what you've done to his good name. He'd have died of shame.
Hey!
Hey!
Hey! I'm Tom.
And I'm Jeff.
And we watch
Batman.
This is terrible.
No, it's not. It's very good.
Yeah, it's true.
It's very good.
This is high quality.
We are in
high quality entertainment.
We're in a point where we're consuming high quality entertainment.
That's true, yeah.
For the most part.
Right. We've moved beyond the Schumacher films. This is the second.
Beyond.
But before Beyond, yes. This second episode, right?
This is our second The Animated Series.
Second animated series.
So
episode.
we are into episodes 3 and 4.
Yes,
we are into our first one introduces us to a real fun character,
Scarecrow.
It's the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
So should we do general plot? I think we plot.
I think general plot is this episode's called Nothing to Fear.
Yes. Which guess what?
There was something
to fear.
There was
many things to fear.
Some things to fear.
Because
spiders,
it's about fear.
Your dead dad.
Your dead dad
is terrifying.
In the wrong way of being afraid of your dead dad.
Right. Like he becomes a giant skeleton.
Yeah, dead dads.
That's not how your dead dad terrorizes you.
No.
Unless your dad turned into a skeleton in front of your face.
And then judges you.
Right.
Your dad melts into a skeleton. He's
Yeah.
like, you're a disappointment.
Right. And then casts judgment across your entire life.
This also shows the huge gap, by the way, in how now being a huge disappointment is just your dad won't talk to you.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
Everybody? Okay.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the fantasy, by the way.
Right.
That your dad actually will talk to you to tell you that you're a disappointment.
Right.
So,
like watching this episode now, I'm like, man, they really had a strong relationship if they could get that candid with each other.
There's a string of recent robberies. A string of every Batman episode starts with a newscaster being like, "There's been a lot of fucking robberies,"
and somebody's at it again.
So many robbery. It's also funny to see how many plot devices are lifted from other things where it's just like, oh, a newscaster talking about a bunch of robberies? Thanks. Ninja Turtles, the movie.
Yeah.
Instead of things getting better, they've actually
gotten worse.
We got to get Chief Stearns in here. That's who we need.
So yeah, we see that Scarecrow is robbing the bank with two henchmen who he has an incredible relationship with.
Two men. Just men.
Yeah.
Regular men.
Nigel and Anthony are their names.
No burlap sacks to cover their faces.
Yeah, just two guys.
Just two bros that you can take a photo of.
These are Craigslist hires. These are
you went onto the app Hench.
Yeah.
And you booked two
dudes.
I'll book Nigel.
I think
two? You get a deal on two.
I think I'll book Anthony.
Oh, all right.
I like Anthony's look.
Use code Gotham for 20% off.
So he's got two just men in sweaters.
And they're robbing. What an event, committing a robbery, by the way. What an event.
Yeah.
Also, which bank is it? Because this is insane to me.
I don't remember.
It's the campus bank.
Oh,
it's the Gotham University campus bank, which, from what I recall, that's not a thing.
There are some like university banks, but
okay. But are there? University bank.
University bank. Yeah, I remember there being a university credit union, but I don't know. I think it was more about just giving college students predatory credit cards.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's like, we'll give you a laundry bag.
Here's a T-shirt if you sign up.
interest credit card.
Right, yeah.
You know, Scarecrow's doing the Lord's work. Let's be honest.
He kind of is. Yeah,
he's the Bernie Sanders of Gotham.
Because he tells his two goons to take whatever you can carry and then burn the rest of the money.
There it is.
Fuck it.
You know what? That's fine.
Yeah. Batman comes in to save the day. He gets gassed. He sees his dead dad.
They lift this straight out of Batman Begins, by the way. I mean, right. Batman Begins straight up lifts this introduction to the Scarecrow, where it's like, there's the Scarecrow, I'm gassing you, and now I'm on fire.
Now you're on fire. Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fascinating to watch this and be like, oh shit,
Yeah, that's such a favorite moment of mine in Batman Begins. It's his first outing as Batman. He gets gassed, set on fire, and falls out the window.
Yeah.
And then he's just rolling around on the rooftop. Alfred!
I'm still going to do the voice.
Yeah. He's like, it's just us talking, Master Wayne.
Yeah, you don't have to show.
I have to do the voice. I know it's you.
Also, side note, the Scarecrow throws like a real nerd. They animated him to throw like when you're making fun of somebody for how they
when you're
throw.
making fun of some dweeb who
Which
can't.
is probably an accident, but as the show progresses, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Man.
There's so then he's on fire. He's like, my dad hates me. And then there's like a weird side quest where Bullock is mad.
Yeah,
because Batman steals evidence.
One of my notes is just Bullock was gonna straight up shoot Batman. Like he just grabs for his gun.
Batman is also stealing evidence.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Gordon's like, hey, let him steal that evidence.
Let this private citizen dressed up like a maniac take this official police evidence
on this crime scene
and interfere with this investigation.
You know, he is evidence.
Yeah.
Easier. Also, side note, academics fucking hate Bruce Wayne. Every time Bruce Wayne meets an academic, they're like, how about go fuck yourself?
Right. That guy, when he meets him in the elevator, he immediately shits all over his face.
Oh my God, the balls.
Yeah, to just be like, well, your dad would be fucking depressed had he not been murdered in front of your eyes.
That is not how you meet people.
No, like he's meeting Bruce Wayne and he's like, well, you grew up to be a real piece of shit. Your dead dad would be super disappointed in you.
Yeah.
And that plants the seed
you
in
fucking
Bruce's head.
Jerk.
Yeah.
I might as well call him a prick.
Yeah.
You greedy prick.
Oh, you rich assholes are all the same.
Yeah, because he's like, give me that evidence. It's like, yeah, Bullock has a mad point. Like,
Right.
He's got a huge point here. Give him the evidence.
He's gonna straight up shoot Batman.
One of the things that I literally have as like one of my points is right now at this point where like Batman's fear of disappointing his father is happening while he's on fire.
Yes.
I feel like that fear would sort of skip the line.
He also
of being on fire.
You would think, because he does nothing to stop the fire.
Nope.
Like he sort of allows the fire to happen.
I feel like that
so he can kind of try to feebly clutch at Scarecrow.
I feel like Scarecrow's gas isn't that good that it's going to make you ignore your current major fear, which is I'm on fire right now.
Right. Like where...
You know when you light a match and it gets a little low?
Yeah.
And you get a little scared? On all of you. Imagine that feeling.
Yeah, imagine that
you.
engulfed in your entire torso.
Imagine being on fire. And then being like, I hope my dad is cool with me.
Yeah. I hope my dad's immortal spirit isn't like crying, seeing that I drive fancy cars.
Yeah, seeing as how I've made money and donated.
Right, as I'm an incredibly successful man and also like a champion of justice.
Yeah, also, side note, you'd be like, fuckface, you don't know how many pull-ups I can do.
Right.
Do you know how many mental patients I've beaten to death?
Yeah, my dad would be dazzled at my physical prowess, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that I've kept the same butler for 40 years.
See these shoulders?
Yeah, he's fucking huge.
I'm a brick fucking house.
Every man in Gotham is just
a big pyramid.
Yeah.
Just a big upside down
You look like
pyramid.
a cartoon strongman. Just a triangle with legs.
I always love how in the Henchmen there's always a skinny guy and then big guy.
Yeah.
That's
because you got to have
cool
what's going on here? And the other guy's like, the bet.
It's like one big bulldog in a turtleneck with a derby and one tiny little bulldog.
Right. One tiny dog
the heels.
yipping at him. What happens next? So they have the fundraiser where it's just a bunch of cash in a box.
Which, by the way, on the front page of the newspaper.
It's on the front page of the newspaper.
Front page.
It's just a guy holding a box full of cash. No guards.
No guards. Why would you?
No police presence. Hire an off-duty cop.
If I was the photographer, I would have robbed them.
Right, you could just dip your hand in there, man.
You know what is a bigger front page news story? All the stolen helicopters that are going or sold. Massive upswing in helicopter usage in Gotham City.
Yeah, and the blimp game in Gotham City is very strong.
Like, who's selling blimps?
Like a big blimp, too.
Somebody is making a ton of blimp money.
That blimp is like 4 city blocks long.
Wouldn't it be funny if Bruce Wayne was also owning a blimp dealership?
Right. He's probably the one selling
Just
all
funding
this shit.
it, sort of like how America is like funding the war for oil.
Well, because he needs to find a way to like disguise the fact that he's building a bat blimp. So he's like, well, I'll just get a blimp
That's
dealership.
not a bad idea.
Yeah, right? Like,
That's like a Wayne Tech.
yeah.
This is blimp? Who are you selling it to? A bunch of crazy people.
You would be surprised how many orders there are for blimps.
I'm going to be 100% honest. A lot of great credit in the criminal world. Great interest, like 0% down. I'm making a lot of money off these crashed blimps.
You know what? They make all their payments on time.
You know what? Everything.
Because all my blimps.
My blimps are paid for cash money.
Yeah. Some of the cash has blood stains
There's
and
literal blood
paint bombs on them, but
the occasional fear toxin
right
on these bills. And
slightly singed dollars.
Joker poison.
Yeah.
It's just so many poison dollars running on.
Yeah.
Like you got to figure in Gotham how much toxic. You know how they say like all dollar bills have a little cocaine on them or something like
right,
that.
like 50s or 100s.
In Gotham, it's like that, but with like fear toxin.
It's
or
all like
Joker poison.
Right, very specifically branded poisons.
This dollar bill makes you a Two-Face. It's like what?
This one makes you laugh at everything.
You don't even want to know what's on all the $2 bills in Gotham. So yeah. They do a little flashback for Jonathan Crane where he talks about why he's mad.
That's one of my favorite. I have that written down. Just young Scarecrow with the snakes.
Snakes.
He's just running around with snakes.
He's double fisting 6 snakes.
Double fisting snakes.
That's a lot of snakes.
Looking like Dennis the Menace's
my
older brother who got a jump start on heroin.
He looks so sick.
He does.
All the time.
Running around with snakes.
Also, the Scarecrow, and I did want to bring this up too, he goes through so many changes throughout the animated series visibly.
Yeah, his character design changes a lot.
From kind of like a goofy...
He looks bad in this one.
I don't think he looks necessarily terrible. I think he goes for a very Wizard of Oz look.
Yeah.
Which is what they're going... Like, the fact that he's got... The mask is kind of like sucked to his face a little bit.
Yeah, he looks Scooby-Doo in this one.
But then it's eventually going to get to the point where he looks like a jack-o'-lantern with a massive underbite.
Yeah, that one's not
that
great.
Actually looks cool, except when you're like, oh, this is a man under here.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, it's not a pumpkin. It's stupid.
Yeah, and then he becomes
in the middle. There's like a...
He becomes like a swole dude with a noose necktie.
Oh, yeah. When is...
That's like later. I think that's like the New Adventures of Batman and Robin or some shit. Is that right?
Crane needs to hit the gym.
He does.
It's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him bettering himself.
Right. Yeah. He should.
Straighten
he should.
That spine. He does great for a guy with scoliosis. By the way.
He does. Yeah. There's a moment in the blimp after the first robbery when Nigel and Anthony, the guys that he got on the hench, the app, ask him, "Hey, boss, why are you so mad at the university anyway?" And he just tells them.
Just opens. He's an open book, man.
Yeah, he just tells his 2 hired guys his whole life story.
What a good relationship.
He has a very positive relationship with his 2 henches.
We could all benefit.
We could all learn
from
something.
Looking at how he treats those that work for him.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they get good benefits.
Right, he treats his employees better than Elon Musk.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah. He doesn't even, because his goal is to steal the money, but his goal is to burn the money.
Yeah,
but he does say, take whatever you can carry.
Yeah.
But then we're burning the rest of it.
You know what? Bring a fanny pack.
Get something for Anthony.
You know what? Nigel deserves a trip.
Right.
A nice vacation.
Yeah. But yeah,
which, by the way, don't they get away with the money? Don't Nigel and Anthony?
They do not.
They don't. Okay.
They both fall out of the blimp. And Batman makes 0 effort to save either of them.
They're dead. They're
well, no,
dead.
one of them lands in a tree somehow and is okay, and the other one lands in like the river or something.
He's dead.
He's dead. He fell out of a fucking huge blimp. Hundreds of stories into Gotham Harbor.
Poor Nigel.
Yeah, one of them gets I think Nigel gets gassed, and it hurts horrific. Like, he gets gassed, and he imagines being back in prison again. And he's like, I can't be back in prison again, no! So he jumps.
If that's his biggest fear, man, he's just got to work at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to do the Red from Shawshank.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Maybe stop doing heists in
I gotta
places
maybe-
with cameras.
I gotta maybe stop crimes.
Maybe do a heist in a different city.
Go to like Central City.
Batman, he's not covering a ton of ground.
Right. I mean, don't even go to Central. Go to like Milwaukee.
You know what? Milwaukee.
Who's in Milwaukee in the DC universe?
I bet if you could hit the Anheuser-Busch safe, you'd do all right.
Right. You crack that puppy open.
Are they Milwaukee?
Milwaukee was, yeah.
Is that Anheuser-Busch?
I think
are they like
so.
St. Louis. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. It
No
doesn't.
one cares.
Whoever. I mean, Green Lantern's not hanging out in Milwaukee is my point.
Here's something, too. Because the Scarecrow treats his employees well, they treat him well, and they do what he asks.
They do.
He asks, I believe it's Anthony, to go out on the blimp with a Tommy gun.
Yes.
Without a parachute on.
Without a safety line.
No harness.
He's just like, go get him. And he's like, but
shoot that man on top of this big round.
this rigid dirigible
Yeah.
in flight.
In flight. Shoot him.
Yeah.
And then, surprise, guess what happens?
He falls off the blimp.
And he shoots up the blimp.
He does.
He shoots the shit
Causes
out
all
that
sorts of
blimp.
problems. Batman, again, no attempt to save Anthony as he falls off the blimp.
Batman is
He's like, well, let that guy go.
Another one of my things I want to bring up as we're processing through this, I hit another one, which is this is, to date, the easiest case that Batman could crack.
Yeah.
Ever. The evidence and the story, the through line of this story is the easiest mystery. It might as well be just an episode of Carmen Sandiego.
Right.
It's so easy to crack.
It's Jonathan Crane is kicked out of the university for his fear experiment. So he's like, well, I'm going to get revenge in the university. So
While opening a chemical company.
while opening his own chemical company
Crane Chemicals.
named Crane Chemicals, where he produces his own fear gas. So all Batman has to do is just be like, okay, run a cross-check of all the chemical companies in Gotham. Surprise, there's more than one.
Just he needs to put up a Google alert for the word disgrace.
Yeah.
Just
He needs to start getting those notifications
keep
sent
an
straight to the
eye-
Batmobile.
keep an eye on those people. Oh, a disgraced physicist. I look forward to Physico
Yeah.
coming out next.
Yeah. Dr. Adam or whoever that's going to be.
Yeah, like that's like okay, oh, it's the lanky fear guy that
Yeah.
got fired
Yeah.
from the place that he's robbing. Got it.
I bet it's him.
Like
Well, yeah,
there's
like Scarecrow's not really trying to cover his tracks because he wants them to know who's fucking them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
There's no mystery. Why even have a mask?
Why even wear the mask other than just
it's a filter.
to keep from gassing himself? But
But he ends up getting gassed anyway.
he always does.
He always the Scarecrow is the kid that shoots himself of villains, where he's like
Right.
fucking around and always
Yeah,
gets
he
gassed.
screws up and shoots himself. Yeah,
Imagine if you were a villain that always gets the one thing you do
done to
happening to you all the time.
Yeah,
Poison Ivy getting Poison Ivy. You didn't inject something to
Yeah,
make
you-
yourself immune to
you
this?
can't like you're still this.
You should have an antidote
Yeah,
on
just
you at all times.
on hand.
That's the safety on the gun
Yeah,
of being a Batman villain. Is
That's
have
just-
an antidote for your bullshit.
yeah, that's just good preparation.
Yeah.
Like, and so it like turns out, I feel like without fail, it always turns out that Scarecrow gets gassed and he sees a terrifying version of Batman. So like he's just afraid of Batman. Like, is that his fear?
I mean, yeah.
It can't.
I would be.
Yeah, but like,
That's just the
surface
that's one more
level.
step to the being back into jail thing.
right? Yeah,
Which side effect? He gasses an entire crowd that
and
all
they
have
just
the same
start
fear of
attacking Batman.
That is a ballsy group of scared people. Because if I saw a 6.5 foot bat
Yeah,
in my fucking face, I would not try to beat it with my purse.
yeah. I wouldn't like.
I would get the fuck out of there.
I wouldn't look at the rest of the debutantes and be like, "Get him!"
Hey, everybody.
Like,
Let's get them soft wrists moving. Come on.
yeah. Let's hit him with the hors d'oeuvre tray.
Yeah. Oh, Reginald, you've played squash. Give him a good swing. And oh my god. And he's just like, I gotta get out of here. I'd take a couple swings while I'm there.
Sure.
I'm going to be honest. You're in a bunch of rich people. There's probably a couple people you wouldn't mind knocking out.
Some of them deserve it. I mean, you're in a crowd full of stuffy people. The guy who's holding the charity ball called you a piece of shit to your face 30 seconds after meeting you.
You know what? Go
I'm
for
punching
it.
that guy.
He was attacking me. I had to defend myself.
Okay, let him come take a swing of the giant bat. All
You
right.
shattered his cheekbone.
Yeah.
Fine.
Just powdered his jaw.
I guess Dad wouldn't be too mad about that now, would he?
Yeah. Tell me how my dad feels about that one,
Also,
you jackass.
Good for him for standing up to Ghost Dad,
He does.
but in a way that seems a little theatrical.
Yeah, this is where we get the clip that everybody uses, the I am vengeance, I am the night.
I am Batman. It's like you cutting a promo on your dead dad.
Hey, what are you doing, man?
This ain't the WWE.
Yeah.
What are you
You're
doing?
trying to get us hyped for your match with your dead dad at SummerSlam?
You're alone.
Nobody's hearing this.
Yeah, you can't.
This is for your benefit.
You taping this?
Yeah. He might be. He's practicing it.
Also, side note, that crashed blimp killed many people.
Oh yeah,
There's no way.
He doesn't attempt to stop it from crashing.
No chance.
It smashes into a building and explodes.
Yeah, like it Hindenburgs its way through.
It 9/11s right into the tallest building in God. Yeah.
Like, people live there. At the very least, some custodians got fucked.
Right.
up.
There's somebody in those top floors.
There are a lot of very dead people.
This episode is really just about Batman fucking up all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of men in boxy suits get the jump on Batman.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, he slips and sets the bank on fire. He lets the blimp crash and try to catch the two henchmen.
There's a dude in a 4-piece suit hiding on a rickety shelf that jumps on Batman, and Batman's like, "Oh shit, this guy's 280 solid muscle." Breaks Batman's neck.
No.
Jumping on, like, Batman. Men in very rigid suits are getting the jump on him.
Right. I was gonna say, like, that's you have less range of movement in formal attire than movie Batman does in his cowl that won't turn.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, raise your arms above a certain. That's why the Russian dude takes his coat off to punch his son in the stomach in John Wick, because you can't. He's gonna rip his suit.
It's hard movement. You ever try moving in those things?
No, it's a pain in the
tough.
ass.
And yeah, suits are expensive.
Yeah.
And he lost a lot of
that guy should have at least taken his jacket off if he was going to try to jump the Batman.
Yeah. And so it finishes off. Scarecrow is beaten.
Scarecrow is defeated.
Dragged to Arkham. Side note, and we've discussed this in previous episodes, this guy's just an asshole.
Right, he's not insane.
No, he's just a prick.
Yeah, he's sadistic.
Yes. Well, maybe, you know.
So
what?
maybe that.
But how did he get so far along being that crazy?
I don't know, because the earliest we see him is just a weird, big-headed Montana Max freak with fistfuls of snakes. He looks exactly like Montana Max.
Holy shit.
Just running around with snakes.
Yeah.
Like, where did you find those?
Get 6 snakes.
That's a lot of snakes.
You get one snake in your hand, you got 5 more to go.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of snakes.
Yeah, when you're clutching one snake in your fist, one snake's a lot of work when you're trying to hold it in your hand.
Yeah, and it's aggressive the way you're holding them.
Yeah.
You're not preventing them from biting you. I bet you got bit a lot.
He's just running around with carrying them like streamers.
Just a real...
He's a real asshole.
He's a real asshole.
Yeah, it's just a real piece of shit.
He's just a piece of shit. That's not Arkham worthy. That's real prison worthy.
Yeah, yeah.
He should be getting beaten up in the mess hall.
Right.
Not treated nicely.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
He's crazy because he wore a mask. He's wearing a mask because it's a gas mask because he's gassing everybody.
Right.
That's why he's wearing a mask. Not because he was, like, affected by Batman in the brain. He got fired for being a dick.
Yeah.
He grew up a dick. He's just a dick.
Yeah. And yeah, he deserves to be in general population getting beaten with one of those trays.
Yeah, he needs to get beaten with a tray.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Although, I bet his henchmen would treat him very well in prison.
Maybe if they survive the fall.
Which is weird. They're going to Gen Pop and he's not.
Right. They're committing the same crimes he is.
Literally the same crimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes more daring.
Right, because one of them goes out on the blimp.
I think a guy going out on a blimp with a Tommy gun.
Just fire a Thompson into the air.
That's crazy. That's real crazy.
You know, those all the times he misses Batman, those bullets are going somewhere.
Yeah, that's not science genius crazy.
Yeah.
That's a guy with a death wish who needs 24-hour care. So
Anthony needs to be watched. Constant care and vigilance for Anthony.
We need to take care of Anthony. He's willing to jump on Batman in an expensive suit and a hat.
You gotta wear hats. The hat game in Gotham City is very strong.
Man, it's like JFK's inauguration. It's just a bunch of dapper men in hats.
Almost as strong as the blimp game. I'm surprised the blimp's not wearing a hat.
You know what? You can clean up in Gotham in several ways. Number one, boxy suit company.
Yes. Boxy, terrible colored suits.
Shoulder pads in men's suits.
Yeah, all earth tones.
A bunch of dudes dressing like Paula Poundstone going vegan.
A bunch of dudes wearing David Byrne's suit that actually fit into David Byrne's suit.
This is not my beautiful Gotham. You may find yourself beating up a scarecrow man. You may say to yourself, this is not a crazy person.
He belongs to General Pop.
So here's how it should go. Scarecrow beaten, Gen Pop. However, two thugs got his back because he treated them well in employment.
That's true.
And that's what we're talking about. Whenever you talk about the idea of trickle-down working, that's what you talk about, is treating your workers well and getting returns from that in the future, getting loyalty.
He treats them like equal partners for the most part. I mean, it's clear he's calling the shots, but I mean, they ask, "Hey boss, what's the deal?" And he tells them the deal. He's like, "This is what we're doing. If you're all still on board, you can steal some of this money, but we're burning most of it.
We're burning as much money as you don't take. Here's the thing. I don't need more than I can take.
Right. Like
I don't only take how much I can take.
I don't need more fistfuls of cash than what I can cram into my pockets.
Yes. 2 fistfuls is more than the 1 fistful that I can carry.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm good. Also, I'm good with fitting $80,000 to $100,000 in my pockets.
Right. I don't have to work for like several years.
This is possibly the 40s.
Yeah. Right.
We don't know when this is.
Anthony could retire with the amount of money he takes from the university bank.
Also, side note, I bet Crane Chemicals does all right.
Right? Like,
are they employees of Crane Chemicals as well?
Maybe.
Because they could get great benefits.
Maybe that's how he found them. Maybe he didn't do his hench. Maybe he just watched them on the floor and he was like, how
do you feel about moonlighting?
You guys making enough money here? You want to pick up some side work?
Anthony, Nigel, how are you? Are we doing enough for you here at Crane Chemicals? Do you need overtime? Because we have opportunities for overtime.
So, I think this is a good episode.
It is. It's with a lot of baffling mysteries in it.
Right.
That you do have to have the veneer of, this is a children's cartoon.
Right.
But also, how did they let Crane, how does a disgraced scientist become allowed to start a chemical
company? Where do you raise that capital? You don't make much
Gotham.
As a professor.
There's a lot of red tape
yeah.
that you have to go through to create a chemical plant near the river. There's a lot of procedural. There should have been 3 episodes before this of
and that's just like
meetings with the mayor.
Normal world. In Gotham City, if you're trying to open a chemical plant on the river, they really need to watch and make sure you don't have some sort of theatrical costume hidden in your closet. Yeah. No vendettas.
Yeah. How do you feel about Batmen?
In general.
Do you consider them a nuisance or something helpful to the community? Which one? How would you view?
Do you feel the Batmen are criminals or menaces or are they good for the city?
Yeah. What's your take on crime? Please check box.
Yeah.
Do you like crime? Do you wish you could do more crime? Would a chemical plant help crime?
How could you use a chemical? In your own words, describe how a chemical plant on the river could be used in crime.
In as much detail as possible.
Yeah.
Citing specific sources.
I also wrote down Alfred has jokes. I forget his jokes in this episode.
Always has jokes.
He's always got fucking jokes.
Dude is on.
I do appreciate this going from Christmas with a Joker to this episode is a wild tonal shift because it starts out with a guy calling Bruce Wayne a piece of shit in the elevator and telling him his dead dad would be disappointed in him. So it's like this episode it's the third episode of this children's show, and it goes into some deep, like, ennui for Batman about, like, oh, crap, my dead dad.
This is all for the parents watching Batman with their kids that were just like, I should have went to college.
Just sitting there listening to Cats in the Cradle.
Don't get me started on Cats in the Cradle, because that guy is an asshole the whole time.
Yeah.
He deserves everything he gets. He bought his kid a baseball glove, and then immediately
Just to burn him.
on his birthday is like, I don't have time to
Just to torch his ass. Here's a baseball glove. Good fucking luck finding somebody to play with you.
It's your birthday. I'm at your party. Can you teach me how to throw? I gotta go to work.
I gotta go to work, man. I scheduled a business trip to start today because I knew it was your birthday.
And the bats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Scarecrow got me, now I'm afraid of the moon. I don't know. I got nothing. But you're right. You are 100% right. This is a real shift.
Yeah. Speaking of shifts, let's move on to the next episode,
Let's
shall we?
see if we can make another shift, shall we?
The next episode is called The Last Laugh.
Holy shit.
And wow.
This, I'm gonna jump out here. This has one of the gags that has stuck with me for over 20 years.
Really? Which one?
It's the Alfred swinging the vase and falling over. As a kid, I laughed my ass off on how that was animated and executed. And to this day, even when we were in this, I'm like, I can't wait till we get to the vase swing. And when I saw it was The Last Laugh, I was like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is the episode.
This is it.
Because it starts out with a garbage boat.
It starts out with, what is this jazz music that's happening?
Great music.
Like,
the music.
Completely like not what was in the other episodes.
So great.
The drums.
This song is so good at setting the pace for this whole episode.
Yeah,
and
this episode is crazy.
It's the constant theme. The music is great. And I wrote, music intro is fucking amazing.
It's like this Buddy Rich, like jazzy drum stuff just for...
It's great.
The Joker's trash barge.
Yes.
He's got a trash barge that's secretly a submarine that's spraying laughing gas all over Gotham so that he may rob everyone with impunity while wearing a spaceman helmet from a 1940s adventure comic.
Amen. And not the least of which, we get a real peek at to how great AI technology has come in the 1940s.
Joker has an incredible robot budget.
His robot... His attack robots. His attack clown robots.
Yes. Very specific.
Control. That also can navigate complicated harbor procedure.
He's just driving the boat.
He can sail.
It's a good build-up, too, because I was having many questions about the clown captain.
Captain Clown shows up out of nowhere, and you're like, who is
Well, you
this?
see him in the beginning. There's a clown driving the boat. And then later on when Batman gets on top of the barge and, like, smacks the periscope so it knocks Joker on his ass, which that's great.
The comedy in this episode is fantastic. The jokes and the gags are really good.
The japes.
the japes and jests.
Yes.
They are. Like whoever animated this, you could tell is a huge fan of Chuck Jones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the slapsticky bits in this are fantastic. It's really, really done well. It's also weird that they chose a second Joker episode as the four
episodes in. Yeah, they weren't aired in this order.
But they were intended to be.
I assume so. I don't know how production versus airing normally goes. I assume that
usually
right.
They're like these are our scripts.
But yeah, so you see Captain Clown several times before it's actually revealed that he's a robot. So that I had a lot of questions, like Batman jumps on the barge and Joker and his other two goons come running up. Like, you still see Captain Clown just dutifully piloting the boat. And I'm like, is he not looking at Batman at all? Or is he not worried about Batman? And then, like, Batman's tied the Batboat up to the barge and is pulling it towards shore. And Captain Clown just rips that line in half with his hands.
Jesus.
And I started to write down, holy shit, this guy. And then, like, 2 seconds later, Batman punches him and there's a metallic clang. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense now.
You didn't immediately jump to the fact that it's probably a robot?
No, this episode will train me to look out for that in the future now.
I did assume robot because of just how, this is going to sound stupid as shit, robotic.
He's driving the boat. Just driving that barge.
Get up the boat.
It's
Also, the laughing gas implies many murders.
judging by
The accident.
where the very beginning, where a guy driving a truck full of like gold bars and jewelry.
Yeah.
He just keeps like gleefully aiming his truck toward people and drives it over the drawbridge. And then Joker and his Submariner henchmen recover gold bars, which are heavy, but that's fine.
I mean,
It's fine. He has a robot driving his barge. I'm not going to nitpick about the weight of gold.
I mean, a bar of gold, an individual bar of gold is about what? 40 pounds, 30 pounds?
Not quite that. I think it's 17. We looked it up. We looked it up a few weeks ago during a movie night while we were watching Ghost Ship.
There it is.
Because they're just manhandling these bars, and we're like, those are heavy. How heavy are those?
I told you about how I had the $500,000 of gold in the back of my car.
No.
I drove to Vegas one time. Side note, a friend of mine works for the author James Fry, who most famous for A Million Little Pieces, or infamous for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Really interesting story behind that, by the way, where the publication company are the ones that like purported it as a true story. And he was like, what? And it was like, he was too deep in. It's a fascinating story. Anyway, I had a friend that worked for him, and they needed to get this gold from Beverly Hills to Caesar's Palace for his new book. He was like giving away 25 pounds, $500,000 worth of gold.
I'm just this task that you found yourself. What are you, the fucking transporter?
They asked me how much it would cost for me to drive something sort of discreetly to Vegas. And I quoted them a very low number because it was a friend of mine. She's like, we'll double that. And I was like, cool. And I thought...
Weren't you like immediately like, I wonder what it is?
My friend wouldn't set me... No, she told me over the phone.
Oh.
She was like, I can't text this to you, but call me. And so I immediately thought, I was like, oh, wow, like I'm bringing gold bars. That's cool. It was coins. And the reason it was coins is because $500,000 worth of gold would be terribly unimpressive in bars because it would be 1.5 bars. $500,000 in gold at the time, 2014, was around 25 pounds. It was about 25 pounds of gold of coins in a shoebox-sized thing with a generic bottled water stamp on it. And a guy with a dolly came out from a lawyer's office with a bottled water box, and the lawyer goes, here's the gold. And I was like, motherfucker.
In a
shoebox. I was like, have some chill here. These people around us now all know that there's gold going into my Ford Focus. It was fascinating. They were like, don't tell anybody you have this. If you get pulled over, you don't tell people you have this. Because apparently there's like a seizure for that. So like, you don't tell anybody you have this. You don't tweet about it. You don't mention it until you're done. And after you've dropped it off, you can say whatever you want. I tweeted about it right after I dropped it off. And someone was like, does that have anything to do with the James Fry thing? And I was like, Jesus Christ. Apparently he had done an interview where he'd mentioned it. And so it all kind of... That was just a weird thing, but gold is heavy and strange.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make this
very
unnecessary.
It's fascinating.
But it is a very weird...
Yeah.
I got to go into the basement of Caesar's Palace, into the vault, which was like fascinating.
Did you see any pit bosses breaking people's fingers down there?
But I saw terrifying security guards with their hands on guns while I was in there. Their hands were like literally at the ready, like I was Catwoman and they were about to fall in love with me.
You're overpaid.
I was like, your security has a lot of forearm tattoos.
That's the kind of security they're looking for.
Oh, their security boss, by the way, like the head of security for Caesar's Palace, looked like he was plucked from a parody of a mob movie. He was such a stereotype.
Straight from Central
He had,
Casting.
Like, slicked black, gray hair. He was my height, but about 300 pounds of like muscle with a gut. I'm remembering it probably wrong, but he had like a turtleneck under a blazer.
Perfect.
He was massive.
Was he wearing a chain around his turtleneck?
His hands were so much bigger than mine. Like he looked like one of those guys that could crush walnuts in his hands. And he was so pleasant and kind to me and like happy-go-lucky. But I'm like, you've broken a leg. I know you've broken a leg.
Oh, yeah.
Minimum one leg broken.
At least one.
It was fascinating.
So they should have had
fascinating sidetrack.
They should have had these guys driving the armored car.
Hell yeah.
Rather than this asshole who just drives it into the river.
Lots of murders.
Why does the laughing gas turn you into a chaotic asshole?
That's interesting because there's two reactions, which are that it just makes you laugh forever for some people.
Right.
Or there you become like a real funny asshole.
Or you become Alfred, who wants to just destroy everything in Wayne Manor.
I mean, there's sort of, maybe it's sort of like it's it's like an id amplifier, which is the only thing I could think of. You know, they say like, you know, when you're driving, you're like, I could fucking turn my car into this tree and see what happens.
Yeah.
And like maybe the gas affects it where like you no longer have that super ego.
I feel like
block it.
That makes sense for Alfred because, you know, he's just spent the last 4 decades being like, I could break everything in this house.
Fuck this vase.
Yeah.
This vase, if I stole this vase, I could live forever.
I'd never have to make his goddamn bed.
I would never
or
have
his
to
breakfast.
die and then try to find my brother while I'm dying.
Never have to put up with my employer's ward trying to fuck my niece.
Also, it opens up with an April Fool's
It does.
joke of drawing a bath like he's fucking Amelia Bedelia.
Alfred's got jokes.
Dude's got bits.
He also opens up this scene. Okay, it opens up. Bruce Wayne wipes fog out of the mirror to shave. And then he cuts himself immediately because jokes.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to...
Why would he be good with a blade?
Right, yeah, why would he? He's only Batman. And it cuts to Alfred standing behind him, just leering at his naked back for like 5 full seconds before he speaks.
Master.
And then he's like, I took the liberty of drawing you a bath. And then it's like, so wait... And then he does the bath gag, and so he's like, well, I guess I'll take a shower instead. So it's like, why was the mirror fogged up?
Right? He's running hot water, maybe?
It's just what are you doing?
Yeah, what's your plan, man? Side note, you don't have a, like, heads up, it's April Fool's Day, and the Joker happens.
Yeah.
You should always be aware of when the fuck it is April Fool's Day.
Right.
Like,
all right, you just know where that dude is when April Fool's Day is. Is he in Arkham? Good.
You should be able to predict Calendar Man at the very least.
Right,
happening.
like all of these guys. Two-Face, all right, is there a fucking 2 in today's date?
Yeah, is it February 2nd? Is it Groundhog Day? Because shit's happening on February 2nd, you know. So he's like I drew you a bath. I'd be like, you're fired. Fuck out of here.
Right. Well, it has that bit at the end where it's where he says, what does he say? He says, I'm going to double your salary. Or no, I'll take it out of your salary. I'm going to take the cost of that base out of your salary. And Alfred's like, oh. And it's like, Alfred, April Fools. And I was like, April Fools, I don't pay you. You're my slave.
Yeah. What's he doing with that money?
I don't know. He's
to
never
small bistros in Italy.
Well, I mean, we'll get into it. Yeah, I'm gonna sit there every day and wait
for you.
Wait and see if my dead master comes and shows up with Catwoman
and a priceless mink face,
the size of a tangerine.
Also, Alfred's got jokes about murders.
He does.
Let's not forget that.
He does.
That when he's talking about the shit on the news. About all the laughing gas and all the accidents, he's like, well, I guess I'm going to do a bit now. It's like, Alfred.
Calm down, Alfred.
Have a sense of decorum, Alfred.
People are dying.
People have died, Alfred. That's kind of the thing I'm here to prevent.
Families have lost someone.
Yeah. We know what that's like, Alfred.
Yeah. Remember.
We've done this. That helicopter pilot had kids. Also, does nobody in the financial district get the news? Because everyone's out. Everyone's out on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Of Gotham when they said there's a boat, there's a cloud coming to the financial district, and there's people like, I think I'll take my baby out for a stroll.
Yeah.
Stay inside.
Joker just skipping along with a shopping cart, robbing everybody.
Shows up to the classiest business in Gotham.
Jewelry are us. Jewels are us. That's right.
You know, like it's named after the shitty toy store.
The thing that, well, I guess it's just Joker and it's bedlam outside, but like it's business hours, but he still breaks the storefront window with a brick to rob it.
Joker gags Joker episodes are always funny because the slapstick and the gags are really funny. And I don't know if they chose certain directors to have things animated in certain ways, but like gags happen a little bit faster. Like things, I had mentioned it earlier, but there's a very Chuck Jones aesthetic to the way things are happening in the Joker episodes versus any other episode. And I think that's a personal choice. It's an artistic choice that you view it and you're like, oh, like shit moves like Wile E. Coyote stepping off of a cliff.
Right.
Where it's like once the realization happens, there's the split second and then the really fast animation. Sort of think of like when Peter Griffin passes out in Family Guy.
Yeah.
That really fast drop. That kind of happens with the Joker. It's why when Alfred swings the face and he falls down, why that's so funny is it's animated so much faster. And
there's another bit that's like that is Karate Henchman.
Oh, that's really funny.
Karate Henchman.
A 50-year-old white man.
Right. Starts making these weird noises like, and then leaps at Batman, who just immediately yanks his mask off, lets him fall on his head.
He's like Terry Silver in The Karate Kid Part 3. When he's trying to fight Miyagi, he's like, whoa! Whoa! Alfred just keeping up with the bits. He's beat. Yeah, like I like the removes the mask.
Yeah,
that's a very Tim Burton Batman move. I think, where it's just like a minimal amount of effort to.
Right.
And then he's like, and now I have to fight a robot.
Right. Now I really got to figure out what I'm going to do with this robot. When he smashes the robot's face apart and it's the reveal of the robot head underneath, it's effective.
Yeah. But also we figured.
Yeah, I knew. We already knew it was.
out.
We knew it was a robot. I just the way the robot head looked. It was one of those like animated stills that was just painted, and then they just animate the light in the middle of it coming on. That's that Fleischman style that I'm so into on this show. And then he crushes it into a little cube.
Yeah.
Fuck that robot.
Yeah.
Joker's real upset about the passing of Captain Clown.
I'm gonna guess Captain Clown cost a lot of money. Like.
He's like, he was legit pissed.
He's like, I'm running at a deficit now. I'm right. I have to rob more jewelry stores now. And then so Batman gets put in a trash can.
Yeah, that he stabs full of holes and throws into the river.
Which excellent reflexes on Batman's part.
Right.
Side note, Batman, so he stabs through this metal trash can with a standard knife. And Batman's move to get out is to lift the top instead of to try to open the puncture spots, which have already been torn, which are terribly weak spots.
There's a lot.
He's like, I'm going to lift the top of this locked container. Motherfucker, there are open spots right here that you could tear open.
Theoretically, yeah.
They are, those are the weak spots. Those are
and he's got bat gadgets, man.
Those are the structural weak spots.
Use some of your bat gadgets. He calls his bat submarine to come blast the side off of it with a laser.
We need to talk about this laser for a second.
Yeah.
Because that thing, it's light. If it's a laser, that means it's light. Where does it stop?
It punches through the seafloor, that's for sure.
Which also means that all the shit down the line, he probably cut through at least one houseboat, is what I'm saying.
Definitely.
There's one mobster with his Gumar is lost a leg.
Right. He's got his waterbed sliced in half.
Just some.
No, my cooler.
What's the matter with you? You cut my leg off. What I'm saying is The Sopranos happens in Gotham City.
Yeah, definitely. That's getting thrown in that locked in that trash can and thrown in the river, by the way, is the most fucked Batman has been so far in the show.
Yep.
Like, it's one of those situations where I was like, well, goddamn, that would just kill a person.
That would not be good.
Yeah. You would just die.
And that was a real gamble getting out.
Oh, yeah.
You should be dead.
Oh, yeah.
He's never been luckier than when he was in that fucking trash can.
Right, because he can't aim the bat boat. He just sort of like steers it to his location. It's like, well, I guess I'll push the laser button and hope it doesn't burn through the side of the trash can I'm pressed against.
There should have been a second of him contemplating his life right before that happened.
Should have told Alfred I loved him.
It's like when Nightcrawler is about to transport somewhere he can't see.
Yeah.
In X-Men 2, where it's like, there's a good chance it'll kill you. let him think about it for a second.
Yeah. Let me absorb this moment. Yeah. There's a couple of different times in this episode where twice Batman almost slides to his death just because he's blindly following the Joker. Like a Joker jumps in a hole, Batman's like, I'll just jump right in after him. It's like, maybe look in the hole.
That is the Joker.
Yeah. Maybe take a peek.
Dude's got plans and excellent grip strength, as we find out.
Joker's a free climber in this episode.
He is.
It's you're springing off shit.
Yeah.
Parkouring.
Also, there are a lot of reckless levers in that factory.
Yes.
Because there are levers that are just like, if I pull this, all of the machinery falls apart. That doesn't seem like a good lever to have.
It's a bad lever.
Who installed this lever?
Remove it immediately.
OSHA. If I worked for OSHA and I watched Batman the Animated Series, I would lose my goddamn
Every
mind.
one of these facilities is a nightmare.
I'd just be like, why are the gears available like that? Why are they
open?
that
big?
Why does this look like an old-timey clock?
Yeah.
That's not how this should work.
Right.
What do you make here?
It's a waste disposal facility.
Oh, that's right. It
shouldn't have giant gears in it.
Unless those giant gears are waste that you're
right,
trying
that it's
to
going
burn.
to then be burned. Yeah.
Side note, Batman, when he realizes he's going to die on the slide, tries stopping himself with his arms and feet. You got gadgets, bro? You ain't got a magnet in there?
You got that pew-pew grapple gun.
Which he never uses.
Doesn't use a single time in this episode.
How much are those where you won't use them?
Like, as he's falling into the fire, he throws a grappling line with his hand.
Sloppily.
Like...
A batarang.
Maybe use the gun for that one, man.
Yeah, those guns move a little quick.
Yeah.
Maybe get that in that situation.
And when the Joker slips again, this is the second time the Joker slips and almost falls into a pit of fire.
Like hiking shoes.
Yeah.
That's what he needs. He needs a good pair.
His soles need the grip strength of his upper body.
It's like he's wearing tap shoes.
He is. He's wearing spats and tap shoes. Yeah.
We need to get him a sponsorship from like Columbia or Timberland.
Right.
Something
just
with
sturdy boots.
Because Batman wears sturdy boots. I don't know if you've ever seen like in the comics where it shows his foot coming at you, but he's got grips.
Yeah.
He's got like...
When he kicks you, it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's going to be crushing and also tearing force when it hits you.
When he's letting the Joker hang briefly, the Joker, you wouldn't let me fry. Like Batman does the Olin Mills chin in hand pose for a second. While he's like milking it, he's like,
Maybe I would let you
Maybe
fry.
I will. Batman does not know what jokes are.
No.
Like every time he attempts to make a joke in this episode, it's just creepy and bad.
Yeah, he's just really...
Like his idea of a joke is, I'm going to let you think I'm going to let you die for a second. Ho ho, isn't that funny?
And then I'll torture my butler.
Yeah.
Batman. No.
Those aren't jokes, Bruce. The hell, man?
He's really not good at... I mean, I can't expect him to be good at everything.
No, I just assume... It's like he doesn't consume popular culture at all.
Yeah.
He has no idea about like comedic timing or just... I mean,
Christmas movie.
Right. Yeah. Fucking It's a Wonderful Life. This movie's bullshit.
Where these are all funny jokes in this movie.
Right. Just
Those
watch
aren't jokes, Batman.
Yeah. He thinks Jimmy Stewart almost jumping into a river is the funny part.
Yeah. That's a good bit. That's a good bit about the suicide.
Just watch.
I like that.
Watch a Jay Leno monologue for crying out loud. Just anything.
Doesn't have to be great comedy.
Right, yeah.
Just
comedy. Anything.
Learn the basics of setup to punchline
Yeah.
at the very least.
You monster. You damn maniac.
You goddamn psychopath. Choosing whenever not to use certain gadgets and to use other gadgets, or to use
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
It's exhausting.
But it's Batman.
It is Batman.
So once again, the Joker's thwarted.
Of course. Of course.
Guy just can't get a win.
He's 0 for 2, and we're only 4 episodes.
We're 4
in.
episodes in. Yeah, he's just that's a terrible batting average.
Take the L, Joker.
Maybe spend a little more time workshopping your next plan. Just a little.
That Alfred bit is my second favorite animated moment of like comedy. And the other one is a scene from Mask of the Phantasm that will probably hit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At some point in time soon. There's a bit in there that I think is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen that we'll get to eventually. But yeah, so surprise, the Joker and his 50-year-old karate man and incredibly strong other guy.
Yeah, that guy's
who lifts somebody up and shakes all
them.
the money out like he's Calvin and Hobbesing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an adult.
That's a good bit, though.
It's a solid bit.
Because, like, you could easily just take the wallet, but instead you lift a guy up and
You got to
shake
be a
his
bully
legs.
about it.
Well, you got to get them shoulder workouts in.
It's
too.
true. Yeah. It doesn't want to miss shoulder day just because he's out criming with the Joker.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I got to work. But
Yeah,
I like to get my time in too.
You know what? If you miss a day, you miss too many days in a row, then you lose something.
Yeah. I was on a layoff for a while. I'm back in the game now. I can't rest. I've been arm wrestling Captain Clown just to build up those biceps.
Yeah.
You can set him to certain levels.
He's sparring with Captain Clown.
Captain Clown went a little hard on me. Threw me in a river.
Yeah. Shattered 3 of my ribs.
Yeah, he actually folded me into a square. It was really difficult to get out. Good thing Karate Nigel was here being 50. They don't make him look good.
He doesn't.
He doesn't look like
you
expect.
He looks every year of his age.
I really think that when Batman beats him and takes the mask off, he should go, "Oh shit," because he should not be.
You're too old to do this.
I got to be honest. Thought you were Asian.
Yeah,
I really did. I felt bad about it for a little bit, but now I'm fine. You culturally appropriating son of a bitch.
Like, he broke both wrists when he landed. You know he did. He's just so old.
Just so
The osteopro is setting in.
milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joker milk. Hey Joker, is this the good milk or the poison milk?
It's the good milk or the milk that makes me laugh to death.
Which, God, imagine working in that environment.
It's a nightmare.
Poor guy. He used to work for Scarecrow.
Yeah.
And then the Joker was hiring. There's the Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo Joker graphic novel, the one that they do, is a really great story told from the perspective of somebody who works for the Joker, which is a really great. They do that in another episode down the line where a guy that's like sort of compulsed to work for the Joker. He's like,
yeah, Joker's favorite.
Yeah. Where like working for him is a fucking nightmare,
Yeah.
and I don't understand how his.
Well, he's got new henchmen each time.
Yeah, and I feel like you can't even get tricked by the paycheck anymore.
Right.
Eventually, you learn not to work.
Right.
For
There's
Amazon,
a
know?
Facebook group.
Yeah, everyone
about
knows,
don't work for the Joker.
Like if it's like, hey, you want to sell knives door to door? You go no, because I've heard about this.
Yeah.
I've heard about the knife selling thing, and I know that it's a scam. Here, same thing. If you get a job where it's like you want to sell windows. You want to sell knives?
Nah, man.
You want to sell vacuum cleaners? You know you're becoming a door-to-door salesman. You know how that works. If somebody's like, hey, you got to get this job. All you need to have is some kind of a circus outfit. I'd be like, I know what this is. I've heard about this.
Yeah.
One of my friends from college did this, and we haven't heard from him in months. I am not doing this gig.
All you need is a lead pipe and some circus attire.
To put it into comedy perspective, working for the Joker is like doing a bringer show that you you shouldn't be doing.
You got to sell X number of tickets.
You gotta. It's just like, hey, I've been doing this long enough to know that this is a bad idea.
Yeah. You end up paying for most of the tickets yourself, and then you don't get paid.
Yeah, and then you barely get anything good out of it.
Yeah, it's crap. So that's our episode.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There it is. That was good. Good.
That's a show.
Episodes 3 and 4 covered. Good. We got our Joker episode. We got our Scarecrow episode. Next week we got some good stuff coming. I'm sure
there's some wild stuff next week.
Poison Ivy episode next week, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So check us out.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Hey. Thank you.
Thanks.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you like Scarecrow appreciates his henchmen.
We do. Like you guys are our Nigels and Anthonys.
Oh. Thank you.
Rough night of crime fighting, sir?
Very.
Well, you'll be happy to know I've drawn you a bath. Whenever you're ready.
What's the deal, Alfred?
I said I drew you a bath, sir. April Fools?
Very funny, Alfred.
Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at Justin T. Brown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.